Order of the day number 2.
Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River, iwi, Waikato River Bill, second reading.
I call the Honourable Tariana Turia.
E rere ki raro i te maru o tōku are ki maunga a Tongariro. E rere ki te whenua kare o tōku waka a te Arawa. E rere ki te whānui o tōku pāpā ki Raukawa. E tōku tūpuna awa e Waikato e rere e. Mr Speaker, I move that the Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi Waikato River Bill be now read a second time. The Waikato River is a distinctive feature of the landscape of Aotearoa. The Waikato River is of great cultural, historical, traditional and spiritual significance to all of the whānau, hapu and iwi who derive their strength from its source to the ocean and along its tributaries. In Whanganui, we often refer to our river as Te Awa Tupua. The metaphor of tupuna awa is a double one, reminding us that the river is our ancestor, and like an ancestor, it provides a common link amongst the people. This is what we celebrate and we identify with when we come to this Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi Waikato River Bill. We celebrate whakapapa that links diverse peoples together, ancestral ties strengthened over successive generations, a history associated and linked together through the flow of the great Waikato River. The Te Arawa River iwi, Raukawa and Ngati Tuwharetoa each connect particularly with the upper Waikato River. They affirm their own unique connection to the river, while also acknowledging that they have in common to their own distinctive traditions and tribal identities. This bill establishes participation by each iwi in a co-governance framework for the Waikato River and its catchment, as well as establishing a co-management and related arrangements with each iwi. I'm so proud of the investment that the people of Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa, Te Arawa and Waikato have made in developing the co-management approach. The co-governance framework in this bill complements arrangements agreed between the Crown and Waikato Tainui in a deed of settlement signed last year and given effect through the Waikato Tainui Raupatu Claims Waikato River Settlement Act passed by this House in May of this year. In carving out the co-management space, this bill establishes the precedent for future natural resource co-management between Māori and the Crown that can only bode well for us looking ahead to the future. Co-management is about a form of rangatiratanga, respecting the unique autonomy and decision-making authority of each of the iwi, while also supporting a focus on kotaitanga, requiring the three iwi to work together to achieve a negotiated and mutually acceptable outcome. The bill also encourages dialogue between the other iwi groups who oppose the bill, which is also a good thing. This bill then gives effect to deeds entered into between the Crown and Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi, by which the Crown and each iwi have agreed to a co-governance framework for the Waikato River. The bill delivers on a framework of co-management arrangements for the overarching purpose of restoring and protecting the health and well-being of the river for present and for future generations. I want to mihi to all of the iwi involved for your determination that you should best advance a vision and a strategy for the Waikato River through the establishment of a single co-governance entity known as the Waikato River Authority. The authority will set the primary objectives for protecting the river. Of course, the waters of this river, while revered for their spiritual and cultural significance, are also associated with significant primary industry, electricity generation, water supply, recreation and aquatic habitats. There is in essence a great deal to be considered when one thinks about the future prosperity of the Waikato River. The Ngati Tuwharetoa, Raukawa and Te Arawa River iwi Waikato River Bill contains 3 parts. Part 1 sets out the overarching purpose of the Act, guiding principles of interpretation, how the Act applies to each of the 3 iwi in general interpretation, and it also provides that the Crown is bound by the Act. Part 2 provides for recognition of the vision and strategy for the Waikato River, establishes and grants functions and powers to the Waikato River Authority, and provides for an Upper Waikato River Integrated Management Plan. Part 3 provides for Upper Waikato River co-management arrangements for each iwi, including iwi environmental plans, joint management agreements, regulations and accords. I acknowledge and thank the Māori Affairs Committee for considering and reporting on this bill in the short amount of time that was given to them. And in doing so, I want to note that so often the success of treaty settlements proceeding through the House reflects upon the ideal processes of parliamentary cooperation. The role of the Minister of Treaty of Waitangi negotiations is pivotal to progress in advancing treaty legislation, and I stand here to formally recognise the unique contribution that Minister Finlayson has brought to this portfolio. But the cooperation of other related ministers, particularly the Minister of Finance, the willing participation of select committee members and the active involvement of all members of this House and the debate are also key ingredients towards enabling iwi to achieve the aspirations they set in the settlements arena. The fundamental importance of collaboration and cooperation cannot be understated. It is important to achieve as much coordination as possible in the implementation of the co-governance framework for the Waikato River contained in this bill and in the Waikato Tainui Raupatu Claims Act 2010. The timely consideration of this bill by Māori Affairs Committee has made that coordination possible. And I acknowledge too that a couple of weeks ago in Te Kuiti, the Minister signed a deed with Maniapoto over the Waipa River, which is the main tributary of the Waikato River. This will ensure there is a full alignment of aspirations and endeavour focused holistically on the whole river system. The committee received 18 submissions on the bill and heard oral representations from 14 submitters. Half the submissions were made by iwi representatives, and overall, submitters were mostly supportive of the bill. Support came from representatives of local authorities, federated farmers and others. The committee has recommended a small number of minor technical amendments which will help to improve the bill. In its commentary, the committee noted the relationship between the bill and the Waikato Tainui Raupatu Claims Waikato River Settlement Act 2010. The committee noted that significant parts of this bill replicate parts of that Act and considered that it may be appropriate for the bill to acknowledge the relationship between the two pieces of legislation in order to promote their effective implementation with clarity and consistency. I believe this is a very helpful suggestion which iwi are comfortable with. At the Committee of the Whole House stage, Minister Finlayson is therefore intending to present a government supplementary order paper for consideration which will make an explicit link between these pieces of legislation. Finally, I acknowledge the foresight and the pragmatism of Te Arawa River iwi, Raukawa and Ngati Tuwharetoa. The values and relationships associated with the Waikato River and the people and communities associated with the Waikato River are integral not only to the well-being of the river, but also to the well-being of your communities. By entering into your own arrangements with the Crown for co-governance of the Waikato River, Te Arawa River iwi, Raukawa and Ngati Tuwharetoa have added significant impetus to bringing the community together to build a future where generations to come will benefit from a healthy Waikato River. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House, and this bill should proceed through the House without delay. Tēnā koe.
Members, the question is the motion be agreed to. I call the Honourable Marion Street.